BlizzCon hype. Oh my god.
Hey, it's Soul. It is October 27, 2017. It is 1 week before frickin' BlizzCon. This is Warcraft Weekly. That's Bob over there, and let's get started with the show. This and every episode is brought to you by you. It's thanks to your subscriptions and all of your donations and all the kind comments that help me keep doing Warcraft Weekly for, this is I think the 67th episode or so. And I want to change the pace just a little teeny tiny bit and thank people for now instead of at the end of the video. So thanks goes to Booho, Turkey, Tribe Gaming, Ken B, and Gavin, who wanted like butt stuff, but well, that's not gonna happen. Now on to the usual stuff. How has your week been? My week has been kind of like a frazzle. I've been like running around, setting up equipment, buying parts, getting myself ready for BlizzCon, which as you probably already know if you've been watching any of these episodes, or if you haven't been living under a rock, BlizzCon is happening next week. So this time next week, I'm gonna be probably hungover, trying to wait, or trying to fight my way for a seat for me and my crew for the opening ceremony. Obviously, I'm super jazzed. I even got my whole little uniform thing set up. Yes, I am actually going to sport this shirt and different colored versions of this shirt next week on the convention floor.
Tell them about your stalking plan.
Yeah, stalking. I do plan. Okay, maybe not stalking, but I do plan on trying to track down some of the real YouTubers, some of the other large channels, just to say hi, see what's up, see if I can get like 30 seconds of time with them just to get a little bit of footage and be like, hey, let's do a selfie, man, just something silly like that. I'm so excited. As for directly WoW related stuff, we had a pretty productive week. We got a number of people from the stream that were able to jump in and help complement my raid because we're like we've been running a little bit short on our roster. So if anyone wants to come over to Bleeding Hollow on the US side, Horde, come my way if you want to be part of a casual guild that just kind of goofs around a lot.
Trust me, he needs you more than you'll need him.
That's right. Truth telling, Bob. It looks like I'm inching closer and closer to that 10,000 subscriber mark, so I want to thank everyone who's new to the channel. I do need to ask myself though, can I do it? Can it be done? It's been quite a journey when I first started this channel, and I want to run the channel the way that I want to. And, I produce certain kinds of content that some people like, some people don't. It's okay. And I thought if I pushed really hard that I'd be able to nail that milestone right before BlizzCon, just so I can kind of walk in and be like, yeah, I did that, small victories, you feel me? So I'm asking myself and to you, the viewers, can it be done? Can I hit 10,000 subscribers?
No.
Yeah, okay, yeah, probably not. At least not until like the holidays or something like that. It's okay. I'm just like trying to goof. But anyway, I'm going to be going to BlizzCon riding high. It's going to feel really good. I'm going to really have fun trying to meet people and trying to bump elbows with with some of the other personalities out there. But let's get away from all that stuff. How was your week? Feel free to share your week in a comment below. I always like hearing about everyone's small victories, or if you just want to vent, hey, feel free. This week's featured YouTuber is Marc Acri, otherwise known as the Acrinator. This guy is a super hard worker that unfortunately his work is being vastly underappreciated. He's sitting on about 300 videos and only has about 100 or so subscribers. Now there might be a reason why, but I think he really needs a chance to give himself time to shine, or most importantly, get a little bit of feedback from the community. I obviously can't fault him for being passionate. Some of his work goes into explaining dungeons, not only the encounters and how to deal with them, but also some of the lore and story behind them that newer players might just kind of let pass by their heads as they're just trying to smash through and get some transmog. There's a lot to look at, and I strongly encourage you to take a look at the channel, see if there's anything you like, but at the very least, give him a little bit of input to see, to let him know, hey, you know what? Maybe you can do this or this or this, or maybe you can get more viewers, or maybe you can get a sub if you do this and this and this.
Well, why don't you give your input?
Well, maybe I'll give my input if I'm like huge, like hella big, and I'm able to give like, more experienced advice. I don't think I'm that experienced. I can give like certain tips and like, and whatever if, maybe. Okay, maybe, all right? And of course, if you know of any underrated WoW YouTubers, and I'm talking about 10,000 or less subscribers, send them my way. I'd love to take a look, provide maybe provide some feedback and input directly to that channel, but I'll bump it here on the weekly so all of you can maybe take a look. Just this week, the 7.3.2 patch launched with pretty much no fanfare. No survival guide, there was no patch trailer, you know, none of that cool stuff. Doesn't look like we're gonna get an opening cinematic so far, but you know what, I think it's okay.
Yeah, but so many people spoiled themselves on what's going to happen at the end of Legion, and they're just looking forward to what's next.
Very true. I mean, well, 7.3.2 is a super small patch anyway. We know what's coming, we know the raid's coming. There just wasn't a whole lot to come in, but a couple of small highlights is that the Primal Assault Garite vendor is in.
You know, that is absolutely not a big deal.
Yeah, it doesn't rate very high. For me, at least. But there were a couple of undocumented changes to note. Probably the most significant change is the change in the spawn rate of certain mobs that drop special things like mounts. So if you've been jonesing for those mounts, cool. Here's the thing though, from the looks of it, it doesn't look like the drop rate of these mounts has increased. It's just the spawn rate of the mobs that drop them. So it has me wondering. There have been a lot of people that are super excited about this change. They're like, oh my god, I'm gonna get right into it and start farming the heck out of it because because I'm more likely to get the mount. But, well, I also think about how WoW has been progressing over the years with having many more opportunities to get gear. Like I can go to, like for example, I can go to do a world quest or a dungeon or a mythic or you know, whatever, and possibly get a very powerful thing or a special little thing. The drawback to having so many opportunities to get nice things is that, you know, by proportion, there is a high opportunity to be disappointed because the thing that you want didn't drop. So coming back around, I find it interesting that people are very excited. Oh my god, I can get this mount now, you know, it's cool. But then all they're doing really is increasing the number of chances that they get per day or something like that in order to get this thing, which increases their number of disappointments.
Ah, but you forget that these mounts are on a personal drop, so anyone who's in the raid together, all of them are going to get that mount.
So that's true as well. So in a way, that just kind of equalizes itself. So I can count. So I guess we could probably count on a much, a bigger frequency or a bigger community that is dedicated to just farming for these mounts. So just open up that pre-made group finder thingamajig and, well, good luck. Also this week, Blizzard did a kind of blog post or a forum post about the Lucid Nightmare, the very difficult to get mount that was unearthed by the Discord secret finder community. I myself have still not gone around to get the mount.
Suck.
But after reading through the post, damn, this thing is a bitch to get. So I've got to give Blizzard credit. They needed to take their team and basically put their small team against tens of thousands of people that are part of this community that are trying to decrypt and understand everything that's going on. So obviously they're going to think of really, really off-the-wall things in order to throw everybody off. Things like binary code and anagrams and funny little pictures and combining all these things together to make them like equally crazy. And then there's just a matter of finding these things too. And on top of that, Blizzard got some very valuable feedback from it. Basically, they're looking for future designs of these sorts of puzzles to be paced in such a way that when it comes to kind of getting really close to the finish line, they want to make sure that it's relatively accessible for everyone once it is there, instead of having a, this whole maze thing. It's supposed to, like, what happens towards the end of this whole Mount Odyssey is that you encounter a maze, and the maze is different for absolutely everybody, and it can change every day, so it can be a big pain in the butt. There's no guide, there's no very easy thing to follow. So what Blizzard wants to do in the future is to take, maybe that sort of component and kind of dial that back maybe towards the beginning of this entire puzzle quest. Because if you think about the Riddler's Mind Worm, people were able to figure out the last parts of it relatively quickly, and then all of a sudden, boom, there's just this explosion of worms like flying all over the place, and it was a really cool thing to celebrate. I'm pretty sure that Blizzard was watching multiple servers seeing all the madness go down. So assuming that this is going to be the last big puzzle that's going to happen in Legion, I want to give props to the team for creating something really interesting for the community to dive into. I mean, they've done multiple things with these sorts of mounts and pets. So I'm really excited to see what comes out later. A couple of hotfixes went through this week, including Seed of the Triumvirate nerfs that seemed to be so desperately needed. I haven't really noticed it because I haven't even run it yet. I did it on like heroic for like the quests, and like that's it. I've been totally pussyfooting out of it.
Pussyfooting, huh? Yeah, more like
avoiding, dodging, putting off for a later time, The more devastating change came from, well, what seemed to be a mistake on Blizzard's part. Apparently, when 7.3.2 launched, the amount that you can get from Gul'dan was able to drop from LFR difficulty. That led into a short little tizzle among the community about, about the value of mounts and, whether or not it's fair that LFR players should deserve to get this mount or not. But apparently it was a bug and it was fixed. Or was it?
Ooh.
Part of me wonders, did they actually just put that in there and then they decided, oh, community doesn't seem happy about that, let's change it back and call it a bug. Whoops. I mean, they could have. Like, it's Mountapalooza over in Legion. Let's lay that down. There are tons and tons of mounts that we can get, and despite there being like cash shop mounts and mythic only mounts and blah blah blah, there's a lot of opportunities for players such as you and I who don't have that kind of skill level or or the cash to do it, to still get something pretty nice. Maybe Blizzard was kind of on the fence. Hey, let's go ahead and hook these guys up. They're not happy about it. Let's hook them back. I'm wondering though, did you happen to get that mount? If you did, great. If you didn't, well, did you really want to run LFR like that much week after week anyway?
I do it for the transmog.
Yeah, I do it for the transmog. More updates. The Battle.net social features are now live. Woo! First off is the somewhat controversial offline mode that many players seem to be scared about, or at least the forums are trying to express that kind of feeling. If you don't know already, offline mode is obviously you can make yourself look offline when you're not actually offline. It'll effectively make you invisible to players unless you're already in a party with them, or if you happen to be in a guild with other people and they see you and they're like, hey, we could see you, man, and then you log on to another tune and then they can't see you and then you're just kind of a jerk. Actually, let me walk that back. I don't think you're a jerk if you want to appear offline. It's your prerogative. If you want to be offline, cool. You have your reasons, they're your own. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. For those who do have a big problem with it, you really need to ask yourself if there's a person that you're concerned about that is going to appear offline and they're trying to avoid you, the first thing you should probably ask yourself is, why are they trying to avoid you in the first place? Maybe you're making that person uncomfortable by giving them unnecessary pressure to, always interact with you whenever you're talking to them. Maybe they just want to quietly farm and like do auction house shit.
Maybe we just want to hang out at Goldshire undisturbed for a few hours.
Yeah, maybe I just want some time for myself and I don't want to be bothered while I'm doing my thing, Another feature that I might have been totally ignorant about until now is gifting. With gifting, you can take most of the digital goods such as game time, Hearthstone card packs, Overwatch loot box thingamajiggers, and gift them to other players. For me, this is sweet because now I can easily do a WoW token giveaway and bloop, just go ahead and deposit it right to that person's email or their battle tag.
Hey, does that mean you're going to do a WoW token giveaway?
Not this week, unfortunately. I do want to kind of hold to my promise of, the next time I do a token giveaway is going to be when I hit 10,000 subscribers. So we'll see.
I don't think that's going to motivate people.
I'm trying, okay? So I looked at the whole profile thing a little bit more. I added my social media network thingamajiggers. And I also looked at the kind of avatar that I can place. I had Torbjorn for a while, and I was sifting through the different kinds of names or the different kinds of icons, and I was like, hey, there is no male blood elf here. That's messed up. What's with the hate? They have like, the sexy little Kerrigan, and they got like Jaina, and they got Sylvanas and whatnot. Hell, at the very bottom, they have freaking Destiny 2 characters, and that's messed up. They don't even have like. I just want to get my forum avatar. Like if they can take like the forum avatar that I have and then just kind of transpose that onto the Battle.net client, that's all I'd want. Just do something like that. Oh, and by the way, Destiny 2 is out. Whoop-de-doo. Uso Graves though, not interested in Destiny 2. Sad song. Christie Golden is going to release a new Warcraft novel next year. Titled Before the Storm, this is going to take place after the events of patch 7.3, and it's going to be about... I don't freaking know. At least not until after BlizzCon. So this has led to a lot of speculation, as always, right? Every little tidbit that Blizzard leaks out is all of a sudden super dissected and all, as if all of us are part of the secret finding community. We all try to break this down and try to understand exactly what's going on. And this is no different. It's called Before the Storm. Now this could be anything. This could be like the prequel to the Illidan and Malfurion Stormrage story, so this is like before the War of the Ancients, because, before the storm.
This is the story of before it all began. A story of Ashara, a story of love, a story before the War of the Ancients. This is about Jeff and Sandra Stormrage, their parents.
It's probably not going to be something like that though, obviously. The titles of the Warcraft books are very literal in their meaning. Rise of the Horde is the Rise of the Horde. Beyond the Dark Portal, obvious. Twilight of the Aspects. Actually, correction, Thrall, Twilight of the Aspects. And you know, even on that note, Illidan, Arthas, Stormrage. So we know this is going to be about a storm. The popular theory, of course, is that this is going to be very closely Naga related. We might get some meaningful story as to what Queen Ashara has been up to ever since her exile into, well, the bottom of the ocean. And it's this that's also led to the reinforcement of the fan theories as to what's going to happen in the next WoW expansion. Which takes me to your user comments and other musings that I've seen around the internet about what's going on in the possible next expansion of the World of Warcraft. This image here proved to be pretty popular for a hot minute. World of Warcraft Tides of Vengeance seemed to be a pretty convincing title with a very unconvincing upper line. I mean, the waves are her domain, the storm is her ally. It's a weak tie-in to the novel, and even worse, the of in Tides of Vengeance, you know, that lettering there is incorrect. It has a different kind of lettering if you look at previous World of Warcraft logos, notably the Wrath of the Lich King one. So whoops, kind of a bummer, despite it being a fairly convincing looking image. The obvious flaw there just kind of shut that down. But there were some fun obvious fakes, including World of Warcraft Nagas and Pirates. And then of course there's World of Warcraft Legion.
I would probably play that.
Personally, I'm still leaning on the, well, I think it's a very unpopular theory, but I'm still leaning on the whole thing about there being a new Well of Eternity and Azeroth World War, where everyone just jumps in, and that would be a reason to get like all different sorts of sub-races or different customization options that let other races seem like they're jumping into the mix. Shiva Thong asks, how are sub-races going to help anyone? You'll still be level 1 to 120 in like a couple of hours. And I think the point with sub-races or being able to play as like different skins of races is that, well, there is a large segment of the community that still wants to identify themselves through the character that they play as. Like, I'm a big proponent of that. I like representing myself as a blood elf, and, you know, even if sub-races or whatever you want to call it, even if that were to appear, I probably wouldn't care because I'm perfectly happy with the class, or I'm sorry, with the race that I play as. Other people, though, are dying to be Ethereals or Tuskar. I don't know why Beliar and Asmongold want to be Tuskar, but okay, Tuskar. I guess it's because they're cute, but I'd rather be like a puppy. I'd rather play as that. But that's beside the point. I think that's kind of the reason why people care about these kinds of customization changes. I put out a video earlier this week that highlighted my personal feelings and thoughts behind what I think are the, you know, my least and my most favorite expansions in WoW. There's already a ton of other videos out there about what what people think objectively is like the best and the worst expansion in WoW, and well, that's kind of boring to me. I tend to frame myself as a champion of personal opinion, and if you don't agree with it, then that's totally fine, because I'd love to hear yours too. Juntus Gaming said that that's what's so great about big communities. We all think differently. My life wasn't the best back then, it was a bit secluded, but I loved the Burning Crusade than most of all expansions. He goes on to say that Vanilla comes in second due to the Amazing Guild, and honestly, since I lost that guild in mid the Burning Crusade-ish, I lacked something in WoW. Treya says that he really liked how this is the personal ranking and not just another generic list, and he shared his own. But Tadrum said, what a fucking joke of a video. This is not a ranking of expansions, it's a ranking of your personal experiences at that time. Well, guess what? You're right. And that's part of the celebration of the World of Warcraft, and that is part of what BlizzCon is going to represent next week. There are players of wildly differing playstyles and preferences, you know, race preferences, faction preferences. You know, they like doing this kind of game mode. They like doing PvP or pet battling or super high-end raiding. Everyone got their favorite or least favorite or hated expansion in WoW. But as one of the small people that represents, that tries to represent this larger part of the community, I'm not going to tell anyone like if they're wrong or right on their list. I'm not going to bolster or push back on someone's opinion, but I'm going to fight to the teeth to defend your ability to just have one. And that's the show. I might not have a Warcraft Weekly next week because I'm going to be at BlizzCon, but I'm going to do my best to at least try to do something like on site. Like I have like the lapel mic and all that stuff ready to go. So I'll see if I can like pull off some sort of broadcast, either a live one or just a pre-recorded one or something like that. So you at least have a little something to look forward to. But of course, BlizzCon's coming next week. There's going to be a whole slew of news that's going to be coming from all over the internet and not just little old me. So I'll try to share my perspective as best as possible. Next week is going to be a little bit awkward. I'm going to have a freaking costume contest Tuesday for Halloween, and everyone's invited. My guild, they're going to be fighting for the right for the opportunity to get a virtual ticket. But if any of you want to like dress up in a Halloween transmog outfit, all you have to do is dress up as something that's just not WoW related. So if you want to dress like a doctor or a scuba diver or something, hey, feel free. I'm gonna have my nephew try to judge, and I'm still not entirely sure how this event is going to play out, but it should be fun. So join me Tuesday, 7 p.m. Pacific. I want to thank all the sponsors and contributors and commenters and viewers and subscribers that have joined me this week. If you're interested in supporting the channel and becoming a patron or a sponsor, there are links below to help support me. As you know, I do anywhere between 3 to 5 videos a week on top of streams Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. Your small contributions of even $1 help greatly in order to support the life of this channel. And I want to keep going. I love doing what I'm doing, and I don't want to stop, nor do I want to slow down. But if nothing else, support me the best way you know how. Subscribe, share me with your friends and family or guild or whoever, and just keep watching. But I'm excited, and I'm looking forward to seeing you next week.
I didn't get to talk a lot again.
It's okay because you're adorable.
I don't believe you.
So for me and Bob, thanks for coming. Stay safe, stay happy, and stay breezy.